Okay guys, I'm going to do the 50-hour service oil change with filter. Just got 50 hours on it here, and they recommend that that's the first time you change it at the 50-hour point. Okay, on the BX2380, your oil filter is on the right side of the tractor, same side as your hydraulic fittings. And it's right here, just below the holes, radiator holes. So to take this filter off, I'm using this type of filter wrench. It's an oil filter cap type wrench, and it is a 65 millimeter. It's a 65 millimeter. And I like these kind because you can put it on there and to take it off. And you've got limited room here anyway, so this really is the best one to use. So let's take it off. I've got an oil pan down below. And the wind is blowing today, so blowing kind of hard, so it's making a little bit of a mess. But we'll let that drain and we'll put the new one on. And this is the oil filter that you'll use if you're using a Kubota filter. BX2380. Okay, I'm going to put the oil filter on. I've taken the oil that I'm going to use and put it on the rubber seal. Very important. Something else I do is I mark the bottom so that I know when as soon as it gets hand tight, I don't go any more than about 3/4 of a turn. So I just mark it with a marker so I know once it hits the snug at hand tight, and I know how much further to rotate. Okay, that is hand tight right there. It just, or not hand tight, it just touched the body of the mounting surface. So I won't go any more than 3/4 from this point where it is. So if it's straight up and down, that's at the bottom here, that's the furthest I want to tighten it. It's a little hard to get in here. And I've got arthritis, so it's a small space and it's hard to get in. That's pretty snug. I might go just a little hair more with the wrench. Okay, that's as far as I'm going. I took the cap wrench and filter wrench and went just a little bit more with it. Don't want to overdo it. Okay, so here is where you would fill the oil. And there's the oil filler cap. So I've taken the oil filler cap off because I'm going to go and drain the oil now from the crankcase. Okay, now I am on the left side of the vehicle. Okay, the left side. And here's your oil pan. And this is your oil plug, the drain plug. It requires a 14 millimeter socket. Now the Kubota manual says to change oil at every 200 hours. So your 50-hour service, and it's brand new, then at 200, 400, 600, and so on. I don't put those kind of hours on at all. So what I do is I will change my engine oil and filter in the beginning of the new year. So when the cutting season in the spring starts up after winter and it's been setting, I will then change the oil every year at that point, because there's no way in hell that I put 200 hours a year on. This is the oil drain plug gasket. It was a copper crush type that was on my BX2280, and I assumed that this would work with this 2380. But as per the dealer, this is the part number, and I think I could use that other one, but I'm going to go with the correct one for this 2380. Now that copper gasket will fit this, okay? But this, which fits my 2380, has a, you can see there, it has a rubber impregnated around the internal diameter. Now this one looks perfectly fine, so I'm going to reuse it. I always replaced the crush gaskets at each oil change. I did order, though, from the dealer some of these because nobody stocks them. So I'm going to reuse this, but I'm going to order some so that when I change it the next time, I do have them. For some reason, the dealers just don't stock them. This one's held up excellent. I know with the copper ones, if you didn't change them, sometimes they would leak. Now the BX2380, 23 horsepower engine, requires 3.5 quarts of engine oil. And something that I always do is, these are Rubbermaid containers, and they hold oil excellent. They don't deteriorate. And you can see here I've put a mark. So this is 1.5 quarts. The one over here is at the top. That's 2 quarts plus 1.5. When this thing is level, that gives it 3.5 quarts. And I don't know if you can see it on here, but I always mark the containers. This says 15W40 diesel. So this is the only piece of equipment that uses that. So these are for my Kubota. And again, 3.5 quarts. It's already pre-measured. All I got to do is put it into the engine. And what I use is this Rotella T. I've used that in my 2230. No particular reason. I just started with it. I continue to use it. It's the 15W40. So here's the oil funnel that I'm going to be using. Kind of a strange one. It's actually for DEF, that DEF that they use in equipment. And I like it. It fits down in here nice. It's parallel when it sits in here. It can't go anywhere. It's important that when you use a funnel, no matter what you're filling, that it doesn't pop out. Because if it doesn't fit right and it pops out when you're letting the oil go in there, you'll have a hell of a mess. So anyways, that's what I'm using. And I always take my funnels that are one purpose use. So this funnel is only going to be used for this Kubota engine oil, this particular 1540. Won't be used for anything else. When I'm done, I wipe it out and it'll go into a container that was dedicated just to this funnel to keep it from getting dirt accumulated over time as it sits in the garage. Well, I should have mentioned this earlier. Always take the key out of the ignition, just in case you or someone else comes up to move it and you forget. Always take the key out, put it someplace, hang it up on the wall, keep it out of hand until everything is done, until you've changed the oil and everything's been full and you've checked the oil level. Okay, I'm ready to put oil in. Drain plug's been put in, and I'm ready to fill her up. is 2 quarts, and here's the 1.5 quarts. So this funnel is working out real well. It's got a good flow. You'll let that set a little bit so that the oil drains down. And I just dropped the filler cap. Okay. So there's the plug, the drain plug, or the cap for the filler. And it looks nice. No, nothing inside that lid. You know, nothing inside the cap. No deposits. Everything looks really good. You know, this is the dipstick right here to check your oil level. Now, I checked it. I have not started the engine, and it's way high, but it's got to go through the filter and through the engine. So I'm going to let the engine, so I know there's oil in there now. There's no leaks down below, so I'm going to go ahead and fire up the engine, let it run just a little bit, turn it off, let it settle, and then recheck the level. So I pulled the dipstick and wiped it off, and where those 2 holes are, the one here and one over here, that's where you want the oil in between. So let's put it in and see what we get. Like from this side, it's maybe you can't tell, it's just a hair above that dot, the very top here. So we're going to call that just fine. Alright, job completed, and I've got grass to cut.